Hey guys, so in this solos gameplay I wanted to try out the Cold War AUG as well as the FENNEC. So these are my builds for each weapon. For the muzzle I've got an agency suppressor. I know that it's been nerfed, but it's going to improve soon, and I just wanted to see whether it was actually as bad as they say. The strike team barrel though, still pretty good. You can use the task force if you want to. I've got the axial arms 3x scope so I can get that range in there. Then I've also got the Field Agent foregrip for vertical and horizontal recoil control, because of course. And then the Salvo 54 round fast mag, because speed is really the biggest thing when you're being pushed. The reticle I'm using is the Red Delta one, the Recon. Now for the FENNEC, I didn't go for a muzzle, I went for a barrel that had an integrated suppressor to help me with the sound suppression and mean that I could free up a slot for something else, which of course is sleight of hand because this gun takes forever to reload. I used granulated grip tape for aim walking steadiness and aim instability. I used the 40 round drum mag, it does take forever to reload. And then the Commando foregrip, because honestly I don't really hip fire this. I have EOD, overkill and tracker, as well as thermite and a heartbeat sensor. So for this, unfortunately, the audio wasn't great. I've been tweaking some of my settings recently so that I can make the audio a little bit clearer. That might shine through in some of the videos that you might have watched. However, for this one, unfortunately, all you could hear was my breathing. And I thought that I would probably save you all that, since my breathing doesn't really sound all that graceful. So I decided that I was going to push the train, because of course. Thankfully I picked up a self-revive pretty early, and the two guns that I've got aren't completely awful. One of them turned out to be pretty good in the end, but yeah, I'm not really such a fan of them. I did manage to kill this guy okay, but then I completely just lost focus on that self-revive because I got shot in the back. And I'm back on the train. So, yeah, this was pretty clutch for me. Now you'll notice that I've got stopping power, and I hadn't really paid much attention to this at this point. But when we come up to here, this is where I clock it, and I'm like, oh yeah. I'm going to put in that stopping power. Turns out this thing is a beast with stopping power. Look at those two easy downs immediately. And then this guy, just clip him in the head. Amazing. I really need to start using the FAMAS more often, but as you're going to see later, the AUG isn't a slouch when it comes to burst fire weapon. So I start moving back up the train because I want to keep doing all these recons, get myself final circle. And you'll see on the map later that I have done quite a few up at this point, but I didn't think you'd really want to watch me lie down on a train for 5 minutes flat. So I'm looking around me, I'm trying to make sure that I'm not getting blindsided, and as inevitably happens, the moment that I turn away, I get blindsided. Yep, I'm too focused on that, and really what I should do at this point is keep running alongside the train and plate up, but instead I completely missed. So then I'm in the gulag, I do my usual trick, I've got pretty good hearing and a very good headset, and I generally just listen for where the enemy's going, because they're not very quiet, and of course I win that one. And then my next thing is, well, where is the final circle? Shouldn't I just go there now so I don't need to risk driving across the countryside or whatever? So, of course, it's right in one of the new bunkers, which gives me an opportunity to go and explore. So I head straight for it, and thankfully I stick the landing. And then I just look around. What weapons can I get? It's already been looted, so there's not really a lot in here for me. But, you know, the loadout's due to fall. And, well, you know, that's quite fortunate because I do want to show off the AUG. I want to try it out. I want to see how good it is. So the first things first, climb up that ladder and take a look outside. Well, there's nothing really that I can see anywhere. So I'm looking round and I'm taking my time, thinking about what weapon to choose. And of course I get shot because I'm there for too long. So at this point I'm cursing the air. Oh my god, how could you shoot me? I was getting my loadout. And I return back here. But my enemy thinks that I've just disappeared. Well, they were wrong. And you can see there how stable the AUG was on every single shot. And that was rapid fire. I was going straight for their gullet. So loot a few things off their corpse and head back over. I've got my plates, I've got a cluster, I've got both of my weapons, but I don't have Ghost. That will punish me later. So, I spot a guy over here doing a recon. And I want to try this out. How does it fire through the walls of a truck? Truck's notoriously difficult to shoot through. Doesn't do any different, to be honest. There's no benefit. But this guy does stick around and I do get to try it out. Like, for instance, shooting his feet underneath. I was able to do that. That's pretty accurate. If you can do that with a burst fire weapon at this distance, then you're doing okay. So I keep shooting. I wonder whether I can deplete the health of this truck. Well, no, not really, because it doesn't really ever start to smoke. Good against people, not against vehicles. So we keep our little back and forth going, and I instantly regret getting out my cluster at that point, because if he had have jumped up and I had my aim on him, he'd probably be dead by now. In any case, I keep trying, because just as an excuse to trial out the weapon, to be honest. And then someone gets a bounty on me. So I'm looking around to see who there might be, and my threat level goes up to orange. Oh, look, there's a truck on the way. Well, let's stop for a second to kill this guy, and then I'll focus on the truck again. So, truck comes along, and I figure, yeah, it probably is that person. So I keep my eye on them, and I watch as they chase a car around. Around and around. And I also notice that my threat level goes up to red, and that he's approaching the back door of the bunker. If he wanted to be more obvious, it would have been hard. And of course I make easy work with him with a FENNEC. So, I mean, yeah, I'm a little bit toxic here because I take my time to beat him to death. And yes, he does give me some harsh words in German, but, you know, you don't get to hear that. And yeah, I just keep coming up and down out of this hole because, to be honest, sitting in a bunker is really boring. I mean, Solos is notorious for being very, very, very rat-like. Everyone just sits indoors, and totally understand, you know, that's so not the way to play. You should really be aggressive more. But when I know where the final circle is going to be, that early on in the game, and I get gulagged back in, it would be criminal not to go there. And besides, when you look at the minimap, I just get so many vehicles surrounding me the entire game. I would have had to have just driven into them. So at this point, someone does try and invade, and they do a poor job of it, to be honest, because I could see him before he even started shooting. And I just take my spoils, I guess, from his body. That was unfortunately going to be the last kill of this gameplay, but you'll see what happens. So I'm watching as this TAC rover drives around, and I'm wondering where exactly they're going to stop. Are they coming in? No, they're just stealing a truck. Okay, fair enough. It's a Grand Theft Auto of the Warzone world. So I'm looking again. There's a lot of vehicles on that minimap, as you can tell, and they're all driving in loops around this bunker. You've got to wonder, is that because of the circle, or is it because they want to get in the bunker? Well, I'm looking and I'm looking, and I have clear forgotten at this point that I'm not ghosted. So I'm getting paranoid that there is somebody around this bunker who is going to come in and kill me. So I start doing my circuit, but I do it with dead silence because I want to do a quick loop of this bunker to make sure that I'm not just missing somebody. And then I peek my head and instantly die. And there is a Greek tragedy of a death. If you'd like to see more commentary type gameplays like this one again, then leave a like and a comment. Let me know what you think. No matter what you decide to do, I hope that you have a brilliant day. Thanks for watching.